Steve, take it away.
Yeah, Ari, we just got the mail absentee ballot from Northampton County in Pennsylvania, and the effect has been Biden's lead goes up again. 16,784 is the statewide lead for Joe Biden now. Again, these continuous incremental climbs for Joe Biden as this vote comes in from parts around the state, up to 16,784 right now.
Steve, that would be then at 16K. That's the highest. I was saying this earlier in the hour, but it's higher now. That would be the highest margin Biden has had in Pennsylvania yet.
Yeah, and you can expect it likely to get higher here, considerably higher, because, again, just the trend here of where the outstanding vote is, where the outstanding mail vote is, the absentee vote, that continuous streak here of that being heavily pro-Biden, you can expect that to get up there considerably. The other question, that we have been talking about, too, then, is there's this other category of the provisional ballots in Pennsylvania, and it's a topic that might be a little bit more complicated this year than it's been in the past. It used to be a much smaller number, traditionally a much smaller number of provisional ballots. We think there might be something in the neighborhood of 100,000 provisional ballots this year. That's vastly more than you'd normally have in an election. There is a possibility here, and this is, I think, one of the reasons why there might be some delay here in folks officially declaring winners in Pennsylvania. But I think there is a desire to see some of that provisional vote start to come in and see if the pattern would have to be when these provisionals come in. It would have to be extremely lopsidedly pro-Trump. I think there's some reason here to think that this provisional vote might be more Republican than you would normally get with provisional ballots. And we could get into the nitty-gritty of why. But it needs to take that extra. With Biden running up the score here with the mail ballots, right, with the absentee ballots, it's going to put Trump in a position where when they get to the provisional ballots, he has to win them in lopsided landslide fashion, overwhelming landslide fashion, potentially in some Democratic areas where Democrats are probably accounting for a significant chunk of the provisional ballot vote. So it's one of those things where you can see an advantage here for Biden. You can kind of see, OK, there's a complicated set of outstanding ballots here, the provisionals. But let's be clear here. I think it would take something pretty extraordinary in those provisionals for Trump to erode what Biden's building here.
Yeah, very clear, because when you're playing with fewer votes left, the margin you would need out of that remaining batch or tranche, as you put it, becomes higher. Steve, I know we rustled you up because this was big PA news. I want you to stay with me. I'm going to bring in Cornell Belcher, obviously a pollster who's worked with the Obama-Biden coalition before. Cornell, I want to get your reaction to what Steve's showing us in PA, and then Steve will give us a further analysis here. We have him up on the screen, obviously, at the big board. 16.7 thousand, largest margin to date in a must-win state for Trump, and a state that would put Biden over the top, but he doesn't have to win it. Cornell?
Yeah. See, if I were in a war room, typical war room, and looking at that map and where the rest of the vote is still outstanding, I feel fairly confident that my lead's not going to be overtaken. Now, that to Steve's point, the big X factor is the provisional ballot, and historically, the provisional ballots has been something that you actually see a lot of minorities cast, and especially if you look back to Georgia, where at least the previous election cycle, where a lot of minorities cast those because something was going wrong at the election place. They couldn't find their name or something like that. But this time around, we don't know. There may be more Republicans doing it. But again, if I look at that big board and I see where this rest of this vote is coming from, I think it's a stretch to say that Trump can make this up. But we got to stay cautious.
Yeah, and on that point, one more to Cornell, and then I'm going to bring it back to Steve. When we say it's a stretch, that's forward-looking. Let's look at history and precedent. Cornell, have you seen a time in the modern era in the last, say, I'll call it 50 years, where the kind of counties that Steve is tracking that are turning in ballots of whatever nature, provisional or not, would come back 60-40, 70-30 Republican?
No, but we are at a different time in history. There was clearly a Republican, a Donald Trump surge on Election Day. And so I think we got to be cautious and to see what has that surge even impacted and changed things, even in the provisional ballots. We don't know yet.
Fair. Steve, walk us through just there before I let you go to our specials coverage and Joy Reid and everything coming up. So the final question to you in this hour, Steve, is for folks tuning in, why is Joe Biden's lead going up in PA, and why is it still too close to call?
Right. So, I mean, it just continues to go up because we continue to get the reports of the mail votes, the absentee votes. They're tallying them up. They continue to tally them up in Philadelphia, in Allegheny County, where Pittsburgh is. As you just saw here in Northampton County, we just got to release the votes that Biden just got a minute ago to put him up 16,784. He was winning 73% there of the mail-in vote. That's entirely consistent with what we've seen pretty much everywhere. Biden's doing extremely well every time they go and they open up mail-in ballots. And we still have a considerable number of mail-in ballots yet to be reported out here. So that Biden lead of 16,784, just when you get the remaining mail-in ballots, it's pretty clear Biden's winning them at an overwhelming rate. He is going to pad that statewide lead. And then, as I say, there's that question of the provisional ballots and how to think about those. It becomes this very complicated kind of weedsy question. But there are, we think, about 100,000 of those provisional ballots out there. You can make an argument for why there'd be a pretty solid Democratic contingent to that. You can make an argument for why it might be more Republican than usual. But I think if Biden is building the kind of lead it looks like he is building with the mail ballots, with the absentee ballots, then that provisional ballot would not be, if it's just somewhere in between, good for Democrats and good for Republicans, that wouldn't be good enough for Trump, because Trump would be fighting to erode a pretty big lead at that point. It would need to be overwhelmingly for Trump, the provisional ballots.
You make it very clear. Steve, I know you're always focused on the big board and the work. I know you're not focused on the personal, but I hope you'll permit me to say, I don't think I'm the only American right now that's glad that you were able to nap this afternoon, because you're going to be busy with these new numbers tonight.
Thank you, Ari. Although I wish I hadn't napped because I'm playing catch up here.
Well, we're happy. Your catch-up looks right on the ball. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.